Welcome to Dread Vale, where chilling stories and dark legends come to life. Subscribe, follow, and share if you're ready to cross the veil.
Gather close, wherever you are. Whether you sit beneath city skylines or under a blanket of stars in a quiet countryside, listen. Because this is not just a ghost story, it is a mourning song that crosses borders. A cry that has drifted across generations like mist on water. This is the legend of Llorona, the Weeping Woman. Her name is known in whispers throughout Mexico, and in many parts of Latin America. But her presence, her cry, reaches much farther. Some call her a spirit. Some, a curse. Others, a broken mother cursed by her own grief. And though the tale changes with time and tongue, the heart of the story remains the same. Long ago, some say centuries ago, during the days when Spanish colonial rule still held a tight grip over the Americas, there lived a woman named Maria. She was beautiful. But not just in the way beauty is often spoken of. No, her beauty was said to stop hearts. The kind that made even noblemen lose their senses. Her skin was soft as candle wax, her hair dark and thick like woven night, and her eyes, oh, her eyes held both longing and mystery. She came from humble roots, raised in a poor village that clung to the banks of a winding river. But Maria, like many dreamers, wanted more. She believed that her beauty was her path to freedom, and soon, her chance arrived. A Spanish nobleman, a man of wealth and high status, came riding into the village. Handsome, polished, and arrogant, he spotted Maria and was instantly captivated. He wooed her with silk and sweet words. He promised her a better life, a life of riches, passion, and escape. They became lovers, and from their union, 2 sons were born. For a while, it seemed like the fairy tale Maria had imagined. They lived in a fine home near the river, and her boys were strong and lively, with their father's smile in their mother's eyes. But reality, like the river, has a way of shifting its current. The nobleman began to leave for longer and longer periods. When he returned, his affections were no longer for Maria. He would come only to see the children, rarely speaking to her. And one day, he arrived with a woman of noble blood. A woman dressed in lace and jewels, his new wife. Maria stood in silence, clutching her sons as he passed her by without acknowledgement. Her heart shattered. Her mind clouded. Humiliation festered into rage, and then something darker. That night, the river saw everything. They say Maria took her sons down to the water's edge. Perhaps she meant only to scare them. Perhaps she meant to let the river raise them in its cold arms, far from a world that would treat them as bastards. Or perhaps, in her grief, she saw no other way. With shaking hands and tearful eyes, she pushed them beneath the surface. One. Then the other. The river took them. Only after it was done did she realize what she had done. She ran along the banks, her screams tearing through the night air, clawing at the water, begging it to return her sons. But the river, ever silent, gave no answer. "Ay, mis hijos," she cried. "Oh, my children," her wails were heard for miles. Days later, they found her body. Some say she threw herself into the water. Others believe the spirits of the river punished her. But Maria's death did not bring peace. Her soul lingered, and over time, her grief twisted into something eternal. That was when Llorona was born. She became a ghost, a figure clothed in white, her dress dripping as if always soaked, her long hair tangled like vines, her face pale and veiled in sorrow. She walks the riverbanks even now, in silence or in sobs, still crying. "Ay, mis hijos. Where are my children?" She is not bound to one place. Over the years, she has appeared in many regions, haunting rivers, canals, lakes, even dry creek beds. Her weeping has been heard by farmers returning home late, by travelers walking desolate roads, and by children who dared to venture too far from safety. She is feared, but also pitied. Mothers in small villages leave offerings at riverbanks to soothe her soul. They light candles, whisper prayers. They warn their children. If you hear a woman crying at night, do not follow the sound. If you see a woman in white near the water, run. She may think you are one of hers, and take you with her. And some say she does more than weep. There are stories of people vanishing after hearing her cry, of children disappearing from campsites near rivers, of cold hands reaching from water's edge. Some believe Llorona punishes those who neglect their families. Others say she is simply lost, searching, repeating her sorrow for all eternity. And still, she weeps. This legend is not just folklore. It lives in lullabies, in stories told by grandmothers, in festivals and paintings, in the quiet shiver that comes when you're near water in the dark. Because La Llorona is not just a ghost, she is a symbol. She represents grief without end. She reminds us of the consequences of rage and loss. She is a mother who cannot forgive herself. And so, the next time you find yourself near water under the moonlight, and the air turns cold, listen. If you hear a woman crying, even faintly, resist the urge to look. Do not speak her name. Do not go toward the sound. Because some believe that if you see her, if your eyes meet hers, it's already too late. She is still searching. She is still weeping. And you might be the one she takes next. Would you like this version turned into an audio script or a video narration with sound cues and mood directions? I can also help translate it into Spanish for bilingual content.